Hello, everyone. Welcome back to In the Yard Podcast with your hosts, Collin and Braeden Cox, as we record here on Friday, April 18th. It's a beautiful day outside, kind of the first real nice day of the year, it seems like. I don't know what it's like in Wilmington, Delaware, but here in Salisbury, it's really nice, Braeden. And Braeden, I just want to give you a quick MLB update about what's going on in the league, some hot topics. And yeah, let's get right into it here on In the Yard. Braeden, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm excited to talk ball with you again.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while, but it really hasn't been that long. Braeden and
Yeah,
I are
about
kind
a
of
week.
Yeah, Brandon, we're kind of balling on a budget here. Kind of short on time, but we'll cover some hot topics real quick. So yeah, let's get right into it. Brandon, do you want to start, or did you want to start with one of my topics?
Let's roll with one of your topics. My topic we'll save towards the end since it'll probably be pretty quick.
Okay. So one topic I specifically wanted to get into was actually Hunter Greene and the Reds. They're kind of been playing really good ball as of late. Hunter Greene, I think right now, if the season ended, I know we're still super early. Um, in the season here. But I think if the season ended, he would win the Cy Young. I think at this rate, it's going to
Yeah.
be between him and Paul Skeens. I think Skeens is still favored to win it. Like as of right now, if you
Yeah.
go to the sports books. But Hunter Greene is having a stellar lights out season. Let me pull up the stats here real quick. And then even just the Reds as a whole are like they're playing some good ball as of late. So yeah, Hunter Greene 0.98 ERA, actually does have a loss. Kind of got the Degrom effect there. Um, I
Yeah.
think he has four starts. And yeah, if he could keep this up, I mean, I'm not sure he could keep a sub one ERA up for the whole season, but if he stays as dominant as he has been, keeps it under three, he'll have a really good shot at winning the Cy Young. Kind of would have been, I don't think it would have been on anyone's real radar unless you're like a Reds fan to win the Cy Young. I think I said Skeens. I think you said Skeens for the NL Cy Young as well. But yeah, still super early in the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun to watch him pitch.
Yeah, I think the default is to just pick Paul Skeens because we saw what we did last year and we largely
Mm-hmm.
expected him to follow that up. And he has largely done that. I know he did get rocked in that one start, I believe, against the Cardinals, um, a week or so ago. Um, but yeah, I mean, you said that like, if you're a Reds fan, you were probably expecting this or had high expectations for Hunter Greene. I think we all knew the name Greene going in, and we all expected him to
Mm-hmm.
have a good season. Um, but I can't say I'm like too surprised because he was really good last year,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just
He
that
was good. Yeah.
he seems to have gotten much better.
Yeah.
So I think at this point you got to put him in that conversation, not only for Cy Young, but like we look at Paul Skeens as like, wow, like he's like the young talent, young pitching talent of the league, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think you got to put Hunter Greene in that conversation because he's young too.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
excited to see it. I know the Reds are still below 500. Um, they did just lose a series to Seattle, but I could see them having a special season. Overall, I know they lost like early in the season. They lost like three straight games, like 1-0. If they eliminate
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, they could
Right.
be a problem because Brady
Yeah.
Singer has been incredible for them. Their pitching staff overall has been really good for them.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is they just need more people to hit.
Yeah. I think I think the bats need to wake up a little bit. I think Ellie De La Cruz has kind of been
Yeah,
slumping. Had a
yeah,
hot start to the year. But I think if the bats wake up, they'll be a really, really good team. I think I think it's almost there. I think like they'll have a breakout one of these weeks where the bats just go off and then they kind of click and everything comes together. But that's kind of what happens when you have a young team like that. And I know the Cubs are pretty good, but I think that division is still like up for grabs. It's like whoever in that Central could get hot at the right time and string together some
yeah,
wins. I think it's gonna be a tight race come September. So,
yeah,
but yeah, it's like on
absolutely.
the Reds so far.
Yeah,
Cool.
we
All
can
right.
move
You
on.
want to get into you want to get into your topic? Yours is a um little bit of little bit
Yeah,
humorous, I
yeah, it's
guess.
definitely a little bit yeah, it's a little bit more on the downer side. It's about the White Sox. And we kind of talked about it a little bit yesterday, but they're currently on pace for only 35 wins this year. I think they're 4 and 14. Um if they stay on that pace, which I'm not saying that they're going to, but if they do that, they're going to have six more or 6 less wins than last season. So I just want to get your thoughts on if you think that we're going to see the worst team in MLB record broken by the same team 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Brandon. I think you said they're on pace to lose more games than last year. And I think
Yeah.
we said yesterday that they did have more wins at this, or they have more wins at this time this year than they did last year, but still on pace
Yeah.
to not make to they're still on pace to lose, but to win
More
less games than they did
games.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know it's still early in the season. I'm not gonna like super overreact to it, but it's kind of, I think me and you both said in our season preview that we thought the White Sox would be better. Like, oh, there's no way they're going to be worse than they
Yeah.
were last year. Like they're going to be like 10, 15 games better. Not going to be great, obviously, but it wouldn't be hard to overcome how bad they were last year, right? But here we are. They're kind of like,
Sure.
oh, okay, we're almost,
Yeah.
how I think we're like 3 weeks into the season now, and we're like, okay, well, they are still really bad. And I think what is it? They have what's the record? 4-11,
4-14. At this time
four and
last year, they
14.
were 2-16. So
Okay, so
they had only won 2 games through the first 3 weeks of the season. So they were
right.
definitely worse on paper last year. But I think it was last year where they lost like an insane amount of games in a row. Wasn't it like 30 something? Remember that?
It was like
They
in the
had like
teens. I don't think it was 30. That
yeah,
would be
hold on.
crazy.
I'll look. Uh it said that they had 3 double-digit losing streaks.
that's
That's
that's insane.
insane.
Yeah.
They
I,
lost they
I think
lost
they're
21
okay.
straight for
Three double digits would be 30. Like if you want to put it that way, like if they win like one game out of like 12 and then they lose again, it's basically like the same thing.
yeah, they lost 21 straight from July 10th to August 5th.
21. That's insane.
They lost 21 straight games.
That's bad.
And then they lost in May 22nd to June 6th, they lost 14 in a row. And then from August 23rd to September 3rd, they lost another 12 in a row.
Yeah.
So they had 3 double-digit losing streaks, and one of them was 21 games.
Right. That's crazy.
So I don't know if
Um.
it's even possible to do worse than that, but they're on pace for it.
Yeah. One thing I
So
will
we'll
say,
see.
Braden. One thing I will say, I think people are really high on their farm system. Um,
Yeah.
I think they have like 4 or 5 players in the top 100 who are expected to be called up some point this season. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, just to have they're basically tanking. It seems like, and
Yeah.
baseball is
I'll
a
pray for
sport
them.
where
I'll
it's
pray for
tough to
those
tank.
players.
What's that?
I said I'll pray for those farm players who can be brought up to the White Sox. Are gonna have to deal with that nonsense.
Yeah. But I was gonna say like tanking is just in the league. It's basically just putting a terrible product out in the field. It's not a matter because you kind of see in the NBA where guys don't play as much or they don't go as hard or you
Yeah.
know. But in baseball, you can't really tank unless the organization puts the bad product out there, and that's exactly what the White Sox are
Yeah.
doing, in my opinion. I think it's
Yeah.
bad for the game. I think it's bad for
Yeah.
Chicago, because a few years ago the White Sox were one of the top teams in the AL, and they have one of the biggest fall offs. But hopefully, maybe they know what they're doing. Like maybe they'll just be really bad for one more year. I don't think it's good if they're historically bad. Um, but
Yeah.
maybe they'll be bad for one
I
year
agree.
and hope these top prospects could do some damage next year. But yeah, it's just kind of embarrassing for the White Sox and the league overall. Honestly, it's not good for the sport, in my opinion.
Yep.
But But yeah, I don't want to
Cool.
overreact just yet. I do still think if I had to put money on it, I would say they would still win more games than they did last year.
Yeah.
And
I
in
would
conclusion,
too.
but still
It
not good.
clearly is going to be closer than we thought. It's
Yeah,
clearly going to be closer than we thought, unless that they can, you know, hit a winning streak.
right.
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I don't know if they won a single series last year. I'm assuming they had to have won at least one, right? Or two.
They had to have, right?
But they did win a series against the Red Sox. They did win a series against the Red Sox this year. So, you
Yeah.
know, that's a plus, I guess. That's a relatively good team that you were able to take 2 out of 3 of.
hmm
So we'll see.
I remember.
We'll
I
see
remember the
what we
Yanks.
can
I
be
remember the
doing.
Yanks went to Chicago last year, and they lost that first game like 11-1. Like the first game of the series, like
Yeah.
it was like panic in the Bronx after getting smoked by the historically bad White Sox.
Yeah, yeah,
But
but
yeah,
then they won
I
the
think
next
they
two,
ended
so it didn't
up
matter as
I think they
much.
ended up winning games 2 and 3 by a pretty wide margin. I want to say,
Yeah.
but yeah, speaking of the Yankees,
Anyway,
Braden,
yeah.
you got all your thoughts on the White Sox? You good there?
No, I'm good. Yeah, we can move on to the Yanks.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't talked the Yanks in a while. Um, but yeah, they've been pretty fun to watch. Just swept the Royals, pretty good ball all around. They had a big win yesterday over the Rays. In the
Yeah,
boss, they said it was really weird playing in their spring training facility as the away team.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think I know they've had I had a couple tough series and when they went to Detroit, lost a series to the D-backs and then lost a series at home to the Giants as well. But they kind of seem to turn around. I really think I don't want to make excuses for them, but I think they just all of them just hate the cold weather, especially when they're a home run hitting team like that. Um, but one thing I really want to
yeah,
say is I want to get into Ben Rice, how great of a season he's been having.
yeah,
Um, I think he has like a
yeah.
1.1 OPS, I want to say. Just been getting on base, hitting the ball hard. 4 for 5 last night. Big insurance hit yesterday. And yeah, I mean, I was always on the Ben Rice train, but I think he's really having a breakout year. If he keep this up, the Yankees will be really good.
Yeah, he's got a 1.8 flat
1.8. Damn, I was
OPS.
off. It's
So
because he
he's
went four
having
for
a
five last night.
phenomenal
I checked
season.
yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, he went crazy last night. He batted. He went 4 for 5. All hard hit balls too. He's
Mm-hmm.
clearly put on some meat on those bones,
Yeah.
and he can kind of smack the ball like at like a very high level, like at one of the best, one of the highest exit velos we're seeing in the league. Um, but yeah, man, like I think it's really impressive. I know, and I'm not even gonna actually bring it up. Um, but it's been really impressive to see what Ben Rice has been capable of. And
Mm-hmm.
what I've liked about the Yankees the most this year is, I mean, especially as of late, you're getting production like out of 1 through 9 mostly, right? Last year, it was like you got through like the first 5 batters of the Yankees, and then it was like, okay, like we're fine because that
Mm-hmm.
6, 7, 8, 9 weren't doing as much. Now it feels like that anybody can go up there and get a hit. Dominguez had a huge hit against the Royals. I think that was the third game of that series, and he was batting what
Yeah.
in the
It
lineup?
was a
Like
second. It was the second
seven,
one.
eight, ninth, second game. So
Yeah.
um I think the whole lineup just feels more confident in themselves that they can go get that hit
Yeah.
when it matters most.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. I think they're just top to bottom and a really good team. Pitching honestly hasn't been as great as I thought it would be. I thought they'd be able to figure it out more. Pitching has looked better the
Yeah.
past couple games. Maybe it's because of the Royals.
Yeah.
We don't really. I still don't know what the Royals really are yet. They kind of seem to like not really have a true identity as of right now. Still early in the season, like I
Yeah.
said. But then another thing I want to get
Yeah.
into is it's funny that we don't even mention this because we're just used to it at this point, and it just shows how good he is as Aaron Judge. Um, I
Yeah.
think he's 1.2 OPS, 400 batting average, and 512 on base percentage. I think
Yeah.
those numbers are just insane. But like we're not even that surprised because we've seen it over and over and over year after year. As long as he's healthy, he just mashes. But I just got to give him credit as well. It starts with him. Driving in runs and just
Yeah.
being a threat to pitchers and them not wanting to pitch to him, having to pitch to guys like Ben Rice and Paul Goldschmidt's having a great
Yeah.
season as well so far. He's
Yeah.
been having a like super. I'm surprised about how good Paul Goldschmidt has been. But yeah, that top of the lineup has been really productive, and then like you said, even the bottom of the lineup has been making things happen as well. It's been good to watch as
Yeah.
Yankees fans.
It's funny because last year it felt like that the only real concern that the Yankees had was like that bottom half of the lineup. Now it feels like that what could be the concern is someone like Carlos Rodon, who has clearly struggled this year. Like you said, it could just be a cold thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they've played in Detroit, they've played in Pittsburgh, they've played in like even their home games, like that first game of that Giants series was a disaster. And I knew
Yeah.
like going into it that it was going to be a disaster. I don't even really, a lot of people like hyper focused on that as like, wow, like this is what the Yankees are capable of when they're like down bad. And I was like, it was like pouring rain. I was shocked that they were even playing in it. And it was like
Mm-hmm.
35 degrees. I was like, let's pump the brakes. It was a weird game. Um, and then, they ended up losing 2 out of 3, but it was largely okay. Because they went and they took care of the Royals. But yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge, we don't talk about it that much because we're so used to it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
incredible
Which
stuff.
just shows
I
how
know I said
crazy
that
it
Ben Rice had
is.
a one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I said Ben Rice had a 1.8 OPS, but I meant that he had a 1.8 OPS last night. But overall, his OPS is
Oh,
still
okay.
through the roof.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
He's one point oh
so
six four. I
really,
see. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But overall, just impressive stuff out of the Yankees lineup, and I hope they can keep it up because I like what I'm seeing across the lineup. I mentioned the Dominguez piece. Bellinger had a great defensive play to,
Mm-hmm.
basically clinch the Royals series. So I just really like what I'm seeing right now offensively. Um, Pitching may be a little bit of a concern, but like
Yeah. Which is
it's
weird because
also
before
still
this,
April.
yeah, which is weird because before the season started, like, yeah, pitching's gonna be fine. It's the hitting that we're worried about. It's kind of flipped though,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yep.
But
Especially, yeah. Yep. So we'll see. Max Fried, kudos to
yeah,
him. He's had what, 3 or 4 starts at this point,
yeah, he's
and
definitely
only
stepped
one
up.
of them. The first one was he a little shaky, but since then he's been great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, he's definitely stepped up in that ace role since Cole went down. And then one more guy, Trent Grisham, batting 1.027 OPS
Yeah,
as well. So I
yeah,
just like how they have a really balanced lineup, and I feel like each guy like knows their role, and they kind of embrace and just help, they just want to win. That's what I like to see. Like they want to find ways to win, and they want to do everything whatever they can to win, whether it's just sacrifice flies or just bunting, stealing
yeah,
bases. But it's good to see. It's a good product to watch. I feel like it's a better version of what we've seen in the past with the Yankees. So
yeah, yeah. With the only um issue that I could kind of see coming up offensively, and it's probably a good issue to have, is what happens when Stant comes back.
yeah,
What do you
I don't want to
do?
get into
Like,
that
what's the
right
move?
now because there's a lot of
Yeah,
options,
no,
but
no, and that's
definitely,
fair, but just to kind of
yeah,
put it in the viewer's head,
right,
like, you
right,
know what I mean? If Ben Rice continues to rake like this, you can't move him.
no,
Meaning Stanton is a bench piece because Stanton's not going to play the field unless
right,
something happens, unless they maybe do something with Goldie, but I don't think you can take him out either. So it's a good problem to have, but we'll see what happens.
yeah,
We'll see what happens.
yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Maybe Stanton could play third base. I'm just kidding. Maybe Rice though. I've heard seen people should at least try Rice at third. He can't be
Can be
terrible, but we'll see.
bad.
But all
We'll
right, I
see.
think
All right.
that about wraps it up here in the yard. You got anything else to add, Bray, before we shut it
No,
down
that's it.
here?
That's it. Quick little update. I'm sure we'll get another one to you guys next week or next
Yeah,
weekend, whatever it may be.
yeah. Almost at
Cool.
1K sub. So if you haven't subbed yet, um,
Yeah.
make sure you do that. With 1,000 subscriber gets a signed Aaron Judge baseball. No, I'm just kidding.
From him, it's not on us to get it to you.
Yeah, it's actually just a Google printed um,
Yeah.
autograph, and I just tape it on a ball. I'm just kidding.
There you go.
But yeah, almost at 1K sub. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do that. Hope everyone enjoys this weather. It seems to be going to be a pretty nice weekend outside. Hope everyone enjoys some baseball this weekend. It's Easter Sunday coming up. Yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.